You guys, I was like, oh, a second. All right, hey guys. We are all the way to week 16 of Emery's Thunder Run, which is really exciting. And we have Peter this week on a really good signal, so that's exciting. You didn't have to worry about, your Wi-Fi. And
Not at all.
yeah, and so I think this is gonna be a good week. Peter's in Ohio. Peter, if you just want to take it right away and just kind of say how your week went and what you're gonna be up to this week.
Last week went well. I've been working through some leg issues with my left leg, but I feel like that's headed in the right direction. Had a little bit of rain last week, but all the miles were done, and I'm obviously not in a camper right now, as you kind of alluded to earlier. Carrie, the person that's behind the scenes and does so much of the work of these live videos, is actually like smack in the middle of the route. So we're going to stage most of the running from here. So I have a good Wi-Fi signal, which is unusual. And this week, I don't know what to say anymore. It's like there's only 4 weeks left to go.
I know.
And I'm tired.
I bet you are.
I'm tired, but I'm not tired of what we're doing. I'm physically tired, but I'm not tired of honoring and remembering individually each of these kids and the moms and dads. So this week is about Taryn. We'll be remembering Taryn, and it's a privilege to tonight to be able to meet his parents for me for the first time tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone would be surprised that you're tired. Like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of running and a lot of weeks away from your home and a lot of weeks in a camper and a lot of weeks being sore and in pain, and it's a lot.
Yeah, it has been a lot, but there's four weeks left, and what we've all accomplished as a team is every bit been worth it. I have no regrets whatsoever. None. Zero. So it's definitely worth it. I do know some of the parents felt like they've been seen and heard. Mm-hmm. We've as a team have raised more money than I thought was possible during a pandemic to go to research and to continue the work that you're doing, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think we've done really amazing. I think you have done amazing. Like, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I'm not a runner, so I literally have like no background to what you were doing. I have no idea. But I can imagine in a sense, probably not, but I can kind of imagine, I guess, how hard it would be. So I think a lot of people think you're amazing, and what you're doing is amazing, and how much we've raised is awesome, especially like you said, during a pandemic. Of course, we were all a little worried about that, but everybody's really, really backed us up, and
yeah,
it's been awesome.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. So, the run is as it has been. We got the miles done. We got more miles to do yet before it's finished, and they will get done.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're able to be on tonight and get to say hi to everybody and get to meet Taryn's family. Before we get to Taryn's family, let's do our recap video of all the kids we honored and remembered this week. It's definitely, like I've said, one of the most important. I think it's just really important what we do each week. And all these little faces, every single one of them matter and was important. Yeah. It is important and loved, and some are missed. And
meeting Caleb was a real treat this week, and his parents. He is a phenomenal young man and an excellent baker. That's what he wants to be when he grows up.
Yes. Yeah, how was the banana bread?
It was good.
Was it good?
It lasted the night.
I had a feeling it wouldn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't. If I could just keep the crew away from it for a little bit, I might have had another piece.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad you got to actually meet them. I knew you'd meet Martin, but I wasn't sure about Caleb. So
yeah, he was there. It was special.
So cool.
They're a very strong family.
They seem like it, yes. Yeah. Caleb's quite the little worry. And they got some good news. I mean, I know it's not, anytime you get good news is good news in the cancer world. Of course, they always want to hear the words clear, NED, that they can, breathe a little easier. But knowing that they have improvement on the scans, like what they're doing is working, and that he doesn't have to have any more chemo anymore. I mean, those are all reasons to celebrate. So I was so happy to hear that.
Yes.
Get that update from them, that scans showed improvement. So they're going the right way.
Yeah. That was one of the first things Martin shared when I got up to him.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it was really neat to hear him say that in person.
Yeah. So cool. Such good memories. All right. Well, I think we should just go ahead and we'll introduce Taryn's family. Chris and Brooke are joining us today or tonight. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Good, good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well, thank you.
Well, thanks for being here. I know it's never like the easiest thing to tell your angel story, and so but it really, really means a lot to us that you guys are here, and that you're going to tell Taryn's story, and lots of people are going to hear about him this week. And so if you guys don't mind, we normally just start with you guys taking it and just telling us his story, and well, then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, my name's Chris Jorvig, by the way. I'm Taryn's dad, and this is Brooke.
Hi.
So Taryn was born in 2009. He had a good 4 years without any kind of anything, just living a normal kid life, I guess. And then when he was 4, found out that earth-shattering news of neuroblastoma and bone marrow disease, whatever that all entailed. That was kind of a rough time, having a 4-year-old that, doesn't kind of know what's going on, and you got all these people messing with and poking, prodding, scans, this, that, and but I will say one thing: he never complained. I know that first year was tough, but he started getting through those scans without getting anesthesia, which is always a scary thing for parents. I'm sure you know. It's just unreal, everything they have to go to, and you never realize, how many kids go through something like this till you're up and, which we were at Nationwide at Children's, and you just see all these kids like Taryn and just don't understand why, things like this happen to them. But basically, long story short, he, from 4 to 6, he had pretty intensive treatments. The chemo, the radiation, bone marrow transplants, you name it, he had it. Then he had a couple years of just kind of getting to live the normal good life, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
So,
He got to be a normal kid.
Yeah.
He loved to ride his bike and scooters and all that. Hang out with his brothers, of course.
which they're not here right now, or else it'd be a lot louder.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It was really great to get, a couple really good years with him. He was able to, run and move around, and he loved to dance. That was one of his favorite things to do, was to dance and make TikTok videos. And of course, play, Minecraft and Fortnite with his brother. They were together 24/7.
yeah.
So we did get, some really great years with him, before we lost him.
Yeah. A lot of good years.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories. You know, those are the ones that I cherish most. Those are the ones that stick in my mind. Not, you know, that the picture that just came across the screen. That's probably the only picture, maybe one or two of hundreds, where he was smiling. You know, and
Yeah. Yep. He was always smiling, never wanted anyone in the family, you know, me and his dad to be upset or sad or anything. He was just always really happy and in high spirits all the time.
How old was he when he relapsed?
He was seven, yeah. Yep. Well, actually, he was about 8 because it was right before, about a year before he passed. It was almost a whole year when we lost him that he had relapsed.
Yeah.
I
He
know.
got 2 years of, you know, playing baseball, you know, good summers of riding bikes, four wheelers, and just
Getting in trouble.
Yeah, it was. Teachers loved him. He was a good kid, that's for sure.
Yeah, would do anything he could to make anyone laugh, including, you know, in school, which got him in trouble sometimes. But, you know, we couldn't really get too upset with him because he was just funny. Always funny, trying to make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could have met him.
He was great.
Yeah, he was awesome. I was kind of upset with TikTok because I guess at a certain age you're not supposed to have TikTok, and he made so many, and I feel like
hundreds and hundreds of videos that they ended up shutting his account down, so we lost all of them.
Yeah.
And of course now, you know, we would love to have them back, but we do have a few, you know, that we posted on Facebook.
Right.
Some of his, you know, more recent ones. So we're happy about that we did get to keep a few of them, but they were just so many. Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Every picture and video of M, I want it all. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last few months were tough. You know, seeing someone that had so much high spirits, and you know, he'd always tell me things were okay.
Yeah.
And you know, when he's the one going through the stuff, you know.
Yeah, he would do anything he could just to make, you know, his dad happy. And of course, he was a daddy's boy, like 1000%. And, you know, he would just do whatever he could to make sure we were, you know, happy and everything. It was, you know, we went to the hospital on a Wednesday and they pulled us into that tiny room and told us, you know, that we had maybe 2 weeks with him left. And we came home that evening and he was, you know, hanging out in the living room and he was kind of in and out of it, playing Fortnite and everything. And he was in the recliner but wanted to move to the couch. And usually I would pick him up and carry him over to the couch and lay him down there. Well, he looked at me and, you know, stuck his hands out, and I thought I was picking him up. And he's like, no, I want to walk. And, you know, he stood up and walked, you know, to the couch, which he hadn't done, you know, in some time by then. And it was just really crazy because, you know, we had been picking him up and carrying him, you know, had to pull the car up to the porch to get him in the car. And he had walked, you know, across the living room to the couch. And that was the day before we lost him. But it was just so crazy that, you know, he would do literally anything he could to, you know, make us happy. And he was always just, you know, always wanting us to be happy and not upset that, you know, things were happening.
You could tell he hated, you know, not being able to, you know, play on his own. I remember that one time he was riding a scooter and we told him to be careful, and he fell down and tweaked his hip, and he was kind of so upset at himself because, you know, he he was able to walk, and then after that point, he kind of, had to slow down a little bit, and he just hated not being able to do things for himself.
Yeah.
And
He really would push through anything. He went to school for on and off for a whole year, and started out going to school in a wheelchair. His first day he was in a wheelchair, and then he was eventually using his cane, and then he would just do the normal walking, and he could be feeling completely awful, and this was in between treatments and all that, and he would still want to go to school, and he went to school as long as he could, just to be able to go and make friends, and get out of the house, because that was a lot of our time spent was in the house.
Yeah, just be a kid, right?
Yeah.
Some normalcy.
Yeah, and he loved school because, of course, he made friends so easily, and everyone just loved him.
I know without people like you, that helped the families along the way. Without that, I wouldn't have been able to spend all the time and focus all my time on him. I had to work like normal parents do. While I was, I guess, blessed to be able to do whatever I had to try to help, with whatever I could to get him through this, and couldn't have done that without, Emery's foundation, all the people that.
Yeah, you guys really help families out more than I mean, it's just crazy. Like he said, we really got to spend the quality time, especially when it counted. Like, looking back, you don't the months and even years leading up to, like, you don't think the last time is going to be the last time. And now, looking back, it's nice that we really did get to spend literally 24/7 with him.
Yeah.
And it's all because of people like you that help these families out. We got to spend 24/7 with Taryn before we lost him.
No, I'm so glad we were able to help you guys, even in the smallest bit. Like, I mean, we knew Taryn, like I said, was one of our first families. Like, we had just started the foundation. So you guys were one of our first ones. So definitely Taryn's always going to hold a special place in our heart. Like, my mom, helps a lot too. And she talks about Taryn all the time, and how, I mean, she helped pick, things out that we sent him and his brothers. And so, yeah, you guys are special to us. And we were definitely heartbroken. I mean, it was just so fast. I remember Chris had sent me a message kind of just saying what was going on with Taryn. And then it just seemed like so fast.
It was like just unreal, how fast it was. It was like the week leading up to that, even a month. He was, all the time just kind of in and out of it. One day he would feel great, and the next day he'd be in bed. But I think, we obviously knew that eventually, we were going to lose him, but I don't think either one of us ever thought that it would happen the way it did. They told us 2 weeks when we were at the hospital.
Actually, the week before they told us, because we asked them, because we had that feeling.
Yeah.
And they said, we're not there yet. And I don't blame anything on them. They did everything they could. You can't control stuff like this.
Yeah.
But they said we weren't there yet. So when we went back, 4 or 5 days later, for them to say he has 2 weeks, I mean, it dropped me to the floor right then.
Yeah.
But for it to be 2 days, and I think it happened that way. I think, everything happens for a reason. And I don't think even Taryn would want us to sit here and dwell on things, knowing, even though we had in our mind that we knew it was a possibility, but knowing, like, well, he's got 6 months to live, or he's got 3 months to live. I don't think that was ever something that we were supposed to be in our minds. I think it just happened like that for a reason. But.
Yeah. I mean, it all just, it didn't even seem fast. It was so fast, that he went, like he said, the week before, were talking about setting up hospice, which of course immediately, I was like, what, why, because I mean, I felt like I had everything handled. I could do it myself. And we tried the hospice thing, and I was like, no, I'm going to do it. We can do it, here at home. We don't need other people coming in.
Right.
And looking back now, I feel like, I had that feeling for a reason. And yeah, a week before they told us we didn't have anything to worry about. We weren't at, end of life care yet. And 6 days later, they told us we had a couple weeks, and it was 2 days, and it was, really early in the morning, but we had been kind of out of it all day. Family came to visit and everything, which, was nice. And once everyone left, that was kind of it, It was just us, and then Chris's mom and stepdad, and, he left. And it was just so quick. It's like every part of that night I can feel like it was yesterday, it's crazy. But looking back, I'm, like Chris said, I'm happy it happened the way it did, because we didn't have to constantly, every day worry if that day was going to be the day, We got great months leading up to that. And, it wasn't really a thought in our mind too much because of how happy he was all the time. Which, I guess some people could say made it harder when it did happen, but I'm grateful that it happened the way it did.
Yeah. For what it was.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, you guys. Thanks for being so brave so honest with everybody and telling Taryn's story the way you did.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that you guys are making it possible for parents like us and families like us to tell our stories.
Yeah, no, definitely being, parent of an angel too. I mean, it's hard to tell her story, but at the same time, it's better than her not being talked about or being forgotten So I'm just glad we were able to do this and be able to tell Taryn's story like this and be a part of something, so big. And yeah, I said, he's special to us too.
Yeah, you guys are definitely special. One thing I wanted to say, which is something that's always going to be with me, is we went through his room whenever we were, after the fact, and went into one of his books he was reading and found a 3x5 card which he used for a bookmark, and he wrote on there, and you could, it was in his handwriting, and I don't know why he wrote it or what made him write it, but he said, only I can change my life. No one can do it for me. And I'm just amazed by, someone so young. I don't know where he got it, what made him write it, but it's something special that'll always keep me going personally. For someone that young to be that smart and just.
He was always so wise and went through so much and is just such an inspiration, I think, to everyone that knows him. But, especially to us, it's like just what everything, he went through, and he was still that, he just had such an outlook on life that I hope that we can, have. It's hard sometimes, but, no matter how he was feeling, how bad it was, he was always just in such high spirits.
Yeah.
I think he inspired a lot of people. It's like these kids, our kids, it's like they just know to live life, and they just know how to make all those moments so special, and it's like they have an old soul, they just, it's hard to explain it. Yeah, it's just, they're wise beyond their years. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Did
Know
you
that the
do
parents.
that on your arm? Is that what I saw?
Yeah.
I got Emery. It's so backwards. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's all backwards on
There we
here.
go. I can't do it, but yeah, that's her lizard and Moon and her name because she loved her little stuffed animal.
Yeah. Gotta have that, right?
Yes.
I think a
And
lot of parents do that. They tattoo their kids' names and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what made the index card we found, so much more special is that, we can have his actual handwriting, as tattoos to be able to look at forever. And it's just, it's pretty awesome.
yeah, it's like a little permanent like piece of them that you get to keep. Yeah.
And
I do.
just think that's not even a smidgen of the pain that these kids go through, Uh, I mean, it's painful, but I can't imagine some of the things. Kids are tough. I mean, they are tough.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Definitely. I know Taryn, I mean, that last year, right? He went through a really big surgery, right?
Yeah.
Huge.
He got his
Whole jaw removed and they put in, metal there, rebuilt it.
put a leg bone, his leg bone, his tibia, or the
Yeah.
smaller one, into his jaw, and that was Ohio State and um, Children's, and yeah, it was unreal because they were talking about once it was done how bad it was going to be, that he was going to have a trach and this and that, and I remember we walked into the room, and this is just something that'll stick out for the rest of my life too. He wasn't awake, but all of a sudden, I don't know if I said something or what, but he shot up a thumbs up, and his face was all,
Yeah. He
pretty
was,
bad, but
yeah, they had him sedated completely and, he was on a ventilator and everything. So the doctor was, talking like, can you hear me and all this? And, while the doctor was talking, he put his thumb up and it was just the craziest thing ever because, he said he had never once seen an adult or a kid do anything like that while, so sedated. But we got really lucky with, post surgery and all that. We didn't have to have the trach or anything. The recovery, it was rough, but he was just, it was just so crazy how well he did with everything.
yeah,
Within a couple days, he was up and playing his games and everything like that. And, seeing what he went through and how everything was looking, it was just amazing that he was able to be in such a good mood after something that big.
Crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just tough.
definitely got to go with your gut on these decisions. I question myself: was this needed? That needed? You know, um, I think you just got to go with your gut. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't think I would change anything. You know, uh,
I mean, you do the best you can making huge decisions for your kid. I
yeah,
mean, I think everyone does the best they can. I mean, there's
yeah,
nothing else you can do but go with your gut. What
yeah.
you
You
think is
have
best for
to.
your kid. Yeah.
Yeah. The doctors give you a couple options, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we go to school for it or anything. And
Right.
I mean, yep, I guess do the B or C or
Mm-hmm.
whatever one it is. I guess at the time. Well,
No,
Yeah.
I think you guys both did amazing, and I always remembered, especially like with Tris and Taryn, how like just how close you guys were, like your relationship. We talk about that all the time too. Just how I don't know, it was just special between you two. We could tell just from pictures and talking to
yeah,
you online. Of course we never got to meet you guys in person, but we could
right.
tell anyways how close you and Taryn were.
Yeah, he was my buddy. He was my number one right there
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Everyone could tell. So we know you did absolutely everything you could do for your boy. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind at all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff's just vicious. So
Oh man, it's horrible. So
yeah,
many kids still, I follow a lot of kids' pages on Facebook and Instagram, and so many of them still. It's just,
yeah,
and that's why this one, we're trying to do something big to help with research. We are still helping
right,
families for sure too. We'll always help families, but we want to do something to help with research, feel like we contributed to better treatments, new research, things that don't harm their bodies in the process. And so that's why we really love the Beat Childhood Cancer Foundation. That's the research group that we're supporting with the run, because they are doing a lot right now, just especially for neuroblastoma kids, which is obviously what I'm passionate about.
Right.
So they're pretty awesome. They have trials going to help prevent kids from relapsing, and they want to really individualize treatment plans instead of just throwing the same thing at every single kid. And I think that's important.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing is that, treatments, I feel like looking at it, if you're not a family that's dealt with it directly, you're like, oh, there's so many new things, but really it's all the same.
Yep.
And it's crazy that, what is it, 30 years with the same chemo treatment,
Yeah.
And we've lost, ours, and there's just so many families like us and like you, that have had to lose their kids, and there's still nothing new out there to, prevent any of it, or, even just the testing to see, if a kid does have neuroblastoma.
Right.
No new testing or anything, which is scary for families, like you've got a little boy now, and we've had, 4. So it's crazy, that I'm sure you feel the same way, but looking at, our other boys, it's like, you don't know until you know, So it's just scary that there's, just nothing new that they can do to, better prepare these families for what they're going to be getting into. It's just awful.
And there's nothing in place for kids to catch cancer early. That's the problem.
Right.
So many of our kids, Emery was stage 4 diagnosis. Like, she was 2. She was stage 4. So they just didn't catch it. There's nothing to catch it early. Like there, in adults, there are some things that can be caught early. And so then it makes you, of course, I always worry about my other child now. Like they tell me that would never happen, and it'd be like lightning striking twice or whatever. But once you have a child, the whole rare thing doesn't really make you feel better when someone says that. Oh, it's so rare, it's so rare. I'm like, well, all the rare things happen to us, so that doesn't make me feel better. So
it's scary.
It is scary. That's what I was gonna say. It's scary because no one can tell me why Emery had cancer to begin with. She was 2. There was no reason for her to have cancer. So they can't tell us even now. They have like one test to tell if it's genetic, like passed from me and my husband. And that was negative. But there's so much they don't know. They can't tell us anything.
Right.
So
it's definitely change needs to happen for sure, and you guys are helping with that. And it's awesome.
Trying. We're trying to make a difference, even just like just help, just make a little, and then just anything for the next kid that's diagnosed, So.
Well, I don't think there's too many people running across the U.S. to make change for it, so that's about as special as it gets in my book. So
definitely awesome, and we're so appreciative that you guys are doing all this, and you, Peter, you're running clear across the U.S., which is insane. But for childhood cancer, it's just awesome.
One of the things for me when I first offered this for Emery's Memory Foundation, one of the most important things was I wanted to. I'm an outsider to this. I always tell people that, especially families when they're willing to share their story to me. I knew nothing about childhood cancer before Emery. I actually thought, when I was hearing Jenna's story before I saw Emery or ever even met Jenna, I felt like Emery's going to be fine, So it quickly became apparent to me when, Emery was not fine, that I wanted the parents to know that they're seen, that somebody, outside of their, normal world, their friends and family who suffer with you guys and for you guys while you're going through this. I wanted you like in you two personally yourselves to know that you're seen by somebody outside of your normal circle. And running is a good way to say I see you,
Yeah.
and I'm doing what I can do. I mean, I'm a runner. I'm not a surgeon, a research doctor, but I can run.
Right.
And I want you to know that I see you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yep. You're using the talents you have to make a difference. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else you'd like to say about Taryn, I think you guys did an amazing job telling his story, and that I'm so thankful for you guys just to be here. And this week's going to be all about Taryn. We'll share, that video. We'll share a little bit more about Taryn, and and Peter's going to be running this week for Taryn. We'll be thinking about Taryn a lot this week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Only thing I'd like to finish with is, well, biggest thing that I noticed is, along with the kids that are going through it, the siblings of the kids that are going through it, a lot of times they get left kind of in the shadows.
Mm.
And I think it's, really important that they kind of, and I know some people, they do that for some things for them as well. But, there's nothing like your kid going through, what our kids went through. But, the other kids have to see this too and what goes through their mind. And, it's
a family disease for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully someday, I would love to be able to do something to give back, all the people that have done things for us. But we would really like to see or start up something, that's dedicated to the families as a whole,
Mm.
And you guys, are awesome. You send, little gifts to not just, the kid that's sick, but also the siblings. And that's so awesome. But, hospitals and just all the places you have to go to when you have a sick kid. I think that it would just be so great to have more resources for families as a whole. So hopefully, with the change that's coming, that can be one of the things that, maybe we can do someday to give back.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really awesome goal. So I agree. I think the siblings definitely get a little left behind in a sense, and they go through a lot, especially losing a brother. I mean,
Yeah, it's hard on everyone, but I feel like, siblings especially, you grow up with them and that's, their whole life. That's their best friend. And,
right.
it's really hard, especially, losing them. It's like they don't understand, and sometimes they're too young to even understand, that they were sick in the first place. But, then you have these older siblings that understand everything, and there's just not really, anything you can say to make it better or, to make them better understand. It's hard for us to understand most of the time. So, these siblings, they go through everything, they have to see it all.
Yeah, that is very true. It definitely affects the whole family.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But we were blessed nonetheless, for sure. I'm sure you feel the same way, but, Taryn, I guess, saved our lives in more ways than one, that's for sure. And I feel like everyone who knew him, he's forever going to be something someone thinks about, and just really smiles because he was just the most amazing, funny, high-spirited kid I've ever met in my life. So.
He was special.
So thanks again for all you guys do, and
Yeah.
keep doing it. And
Oh yeah.
sure, I think it's completely awesome. So
Yes. We can't thank you guys enough.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you guys for being here. And like I said, this week we'll be at Taryn, and we're hoping, except, I think Carrie posted down below a little bit where we're super close to hitting 130,000. So I'm sure we're going to hit it this week. And so that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
pretty big number. And
Yeah.
so yeah, everything that gets donated this week will be donated in memory of Taryn. And we're going to just keep on keeping on, right, Peter?
Keep on keeping on.
where do you finish at?
I finish in Delaware at the, I forget the name of the beach, but on the coast in Delaware.
Awesome.
Like Cape
Yeah.
Pendleton or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys.
Well, good
more
luck.
weeks.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Chris and Brooke. Again, as somebody that has not been through what, you know, Jenna's family has been through, or you guys have been through, it's important for people like me to hear your story. So I don't say much a lot of times during these lives. I like to just listen, because I want people to see that it's okay to hear a painful story and to listen to you. So thank you for sharing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that will be it for tonight. And like I said, thanks, Peter, and thank you, Chris and Brooke, for being here tonight. And I hope everybody keeps following this week and learning more about Taryn. And yeah, I hope Peter has a good week.
Yeah.
Yes. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys,
You
again.
too.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you.
Good night, guys.
All right,
Bye,
good
guys.
night. All right, bye.